And I'm back.
Glad to hear it. I'm just glad to have you back.
Why are you laughing?
Well, no, I'm just having a good time. That was much more fun, and like again, once we were actually doing something more dynamic.
Turns out, there we go. Turns
back.
out games are fun when they physically work.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, viewership, ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen is here. Like, this is probably a good chance for us to start discussing Into the Spider-Verse. So, Doctor, your thoughts on the movie Into the Spider-Verse?
I will happily say it's one of, if not my favourite film of the last decade. And I don't say that lightly. It's a bloody good film. It looks fantastic. I love the style of it. Like, I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long to basically do an animated film in the style of a comic book.
Yeah.
And boy, did they nail it. And it's just... Yeah, it's a great film.
I categorically agree. So, like, maybe not one of my favorite films, but I did love it. I think I watched it twice in 2 days. Just like,
see, I've seen it like 4 times total, and that is a stunning achievement for me for any film to basically watch. Oh, Green Goblin 2099. Cool.
Oh wow, there's like characters from different multiverses and timelines coming in. Cool.
They're doing a. They're glad we're talking about the Spider-Verse stuff here.
Spider-Gwen. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're Gwen. Yeah. Vulture. I'm getting vultured. Oh no, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, like I don't like. The sprite will often give me shit for this. She's like, oh, I want to watch this film again. I'm like, we watched that recently. And she's like, that was 4 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I feel like that was too recent. Like, I'm really sensitive to watching films a lot, but I've watched that one in the last couple of years like 4 times, which is something for me.
I think we're chasing after these villains, like, just... Cool. Much like it. I'm entirely with you on this one, actually, Doctor. As much as we differ on several MCU movies, not that like Into the Spider-Verse is an MCU movie, but like I really, really like it too. It's just an excellent movie.
Yeah, and it's like I think the visuals and like the sound design in it is is basically what lured me in, but it then just holds up really well.
As we've also discussed, like it features the talents of one Nicolas Cage playing a character who's it's just the cagiest character in the movie, and it's so good.
Have you watched yet Netflix's The History of Swear Words with Nicolas Cage?
Oh no, I really want to though.
Oh, please do, it's so good.
It's on my watch list.
As it should be.
I really liked like Chris Pine as like kind of frustrated slacker late 30s Spider-Man. I didn't know I needed that. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Oh, was that Chris Pine?
That's Chris Pine's voice playing like 30s Peter Parker. He plays all the Peter Parkers.
Yeah.
Again, like I think it's still on Netflix, at least in the UK. Maybe in the US it's different.
I think they've taken it off in the US now. Yeah.
Oh, regrettable.
That's the awkward thing because it's Sony as well. Like, because Spider-Man's weird, which is why like Far From Home and Homecoming aren't on Disney Plus or anything else.
I'm pretty sure that. Oh, sorry, go on.
Because of those weird like licensing things of no one's quite sure who owns Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's a shame that like to make a Spider-Man movie now, you basically need like a legion of lawyers before you can do a single goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like for a while, it wasn't even clear we were gonna have another Tom Holland Spider-Man movie because
he's very good. I like Tom Holland as live.
Yeah, but it was just due to like legal shit that it was kind of in its own weird hell. And now they're like, okay, apparently we're going full live action Spider-Verse. Cool. I'm fine with that.
It's very cool. Like, Spider-Man's got a long history in the comic books of like multiple Spider-Men from multiple universes like tagging together.
So if you hold A, you just go up like anus first.
I mean, he is a spider after all.
Yeah, exactly. And as we all know, spiders absolutely do not shoot silk out of their wrists even.
So, a fun fact.
And Spider-Man must have spinneret glands somewhere near his anus.
Well, actually, so in the original...
Oh yeah, he doesn't make web, does he? Yeah.
He doesn't like biologically make webs.
That was just the Tobey Maguire ones, yeah.
Well, in the comic books originally, he creates web shooters. Like he manufactures, because Peter Parker's like an industrial genius. He manufactures web shooters. But later in the comics, he undergoes like a secondary mutation that allows him to create biological webs.
Yeah.
So like obviously he no longer needs these mechanical web shooters because he can just make web, because like an actual spider would do.
Oh, but also slightly disturbing.
Green Goblin 2099 can shoot bombs at us, which will blow you to bits, as it turns out.
Right. Would you like to explain at this point for the viewers and me what the fuck Green Goblin 2099 is?
Ah, yes. So, speaking of
I'm spooging all over the place. Ugh.
Speaking of
that's a horribly wet sound when he launches web. I don't like that. Sorry, continue.
Lovely. Speaking of multiple Spider-Verses, so Spider-Man 2099, as the name suggests, is like an alternative Spider-Man. I forget the name of that particular Spider-Man, but he exists in the year 2099, so in the far future of the Marvel Universe when he was written. And it's like a kind of weird cyberpunk dystopia where he's not Peter Parker, it's a different Spider-Man who has similar spider powers.
Is that the one that the Japanese woman in Spider-Verse is from? Or is that something different as well?
That's something different entirely. Jesus. There is a reference to it at the very, very end after the credits sequence into the Spider-Verse. There is a reference to Spider-Man 2099.
Huh.
But I think he's called Miguel something? I can't remember the name of it. There was a cartoon made of Spider-Man 2099, which is decent. But I'm guessing, I don't know much about that universe or that character, but I'm guessing this Green Goblin is the Green Goblin from that universe that we're fighting.
That would make sense given the name, yeah.
It's something Marvel has done increasingly recently. They've brought alternative universe versions of their characters into like the main Marvel canon, which is fun. It's just interesting to see these characters interact with one another.
Other examples? I'm not doubting, I'm just curious.
The most prominent recently is Old Man Logan. So Wolverine died in the comics, and they decided to bring in Old Man Logan instead. And he was very popular because Old Man Logan's quite a cool character.
Yeah, Logan was an interesting film. I liked it, but it was also very tiring to watch. Because it's just very old Hugh Jackman punching people slowly.
It's a very... I love the conceit of the film, and like, not only is it a superhero film, it is also a really, really good Western movie. It's just a great film. I really like Logan. In fact, Logan might be...
I thought it was decent.
One of my favourite superhero films. Oh, that's gross. That is gross. What the hell is...
Fuck?
Oh, this could be Paladin? Or maybe this is just Kang's time warping powers. I think it's just the time warping powers. Spider-Gwen was it's really nice to see Spider-Gwen into Spider-Verse. She's massively popular now, apparently.
She was great in that film as well.
Yeah, she absolutely was. Like I mean,
that's not a great comment from me because I think almost every part of that film is great.
I absolutely agree.
Like, all of the villains were really good. Like the Prowler was genuinely terrifying.
Yep.
Like
yep.
Slightly
different from like how the Prowler is in the comics, but a really good interpretation.
Yeah, I really liked it being like... It was a nice twist on the standard Spider-Man thing of having his uncle be evil rather than... he's also encouraging, but... Yeah, it was...
That's literally never occurred to me that like he swapped like from one good responsible uncle to one evil...
But also, kind of, he does learn a lot of stuff from Uncle Aaron.
Yeah, again, like there are no bad people really Into the Spider-Verse. Even like Wilson Fisk, who I think might even be voiced by Mark Strong in that movie.
It's not, I don't think, but... Oh, right, what do we want to do, by the way? We've got two options here. We've got Team Captain America to follow the Knights through the portal, which is Cap, Groot, Gamora, and Quill.
Okay.
Or pursue Claw through the portal. Apparently, Andy Serkis turned up, which is these three.
Yeah, it's a bizarre career move for Andy Serkis being Ulysses Claw, like the evil South African like vibranium trader. I think following the Knights sounds like a lot more fun.
I agree.
Oh, we've unlocked Gwen Stacy. Lots of characters being unlocked now.
I only recently learned where Andy Serkis' family are from. Because Serkis is a weird name.
He's British, right?
He is British, yeah, but his family are Iranian.
Oh,
where
cool.
Serkis comes from. I'm pretty sure.
Do you know what? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Do you know what generation of like family he is? Is like third,
second, I think. I'm gonna actually check some of this before I talk too much shit. But I think he's Iranian because Serkis is.
Oh my god! Look at that Lego castle. That's really cool. There's a really good comic that I've read where Doctor Doom and Tony Stark are catapulted back in time to like medieval times, and they've got to like combine their tech to get back to the present.
Huh.
It kind of depresses me that Doctor Doom is not the main villain in this.
Yeah.
He's a great villain, Doctor Doom.
Sorry, Iraqi, not Iranian.
Welcome to England, travellers. I'm going to read this in like a high arch voice. Welcome to England, travellers. My name is Sir Percy of Scandia. Right. I wish your visit could be under brighter circumstances, but as you can see, the fearsome Kang has turned my castle into a den of evil. I beseech thee, please aid me in overthrowing this villain so that I might reclaim my kingdom and put an end to his tyranny. Alright, cool. let's
It's
accept
also
the mission.
it's also particularly amusing because he has a voice actor, obviously, that I'm hearing that's different to yours.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So to correct myself on that, Andy Serkis is part Iraqi, part Armenian.
Oh,
The actual family surname is Sarkisian. And yeah, his dad
as in Anita?
I don't know.
Sarkeesian?
Sarkisian.
Okay.
Yeah, his father often worked abroad in the Middle East, while Serkis and his siblings were raised in Britain. They had regular holidays in places like Tyre, Sidon, Damascus, and Baghdad.
Wow. Okay, good for Andy Serkis and his family.
Yeah. But
Again,
he was born and raised in England completely. I think his mother's English.
I was gonna say I
his
don't
mum's
begrudge.
English, but-
I don't begrudge Andy Serkis taking because he's not. He's fine. He's fun in like the Black Panther movies, but like it feels odd that that's an Andy Serkis role.
What is an Andy Serkis role? Let's be honest.
Well, motion capture is what I associate him with.
Obviously,
He's live action and playing what is fundamentally quite a minor character.
Yeah. I still do like that. Literally, like, the only white people are the two guys from Lord of the Rings. Well, Hobbit. And apparently that joke was made on set that people referred to them as the Tolkien white guys, which is brilliant. I don't know necessarily whether it's true, but people have certainly said it.
So we're liberated. Oh, we're back to.
But they were literally the only two white members of the cast at all. So
that's very cool about Black Panther. It was done that way.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I particularly like. Is it Michael B. Jordan who plays Killmonger?
Yes, he was fantastic in that. And that's a great villain. And I say almost the only thing that we consider is perhaps too sympathetic because he's got a lot of really good points.
I'm honestly with Michael B. Jordan. I mean, like I completely understand that man's anger and his pain, and like see his final speech where he talks like "toss me overboard," like my ancestors who'd like leapt like ashore rather than accept their bondage. I was like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, like
it's a very well written speech.
And his character is understandable to the point of perhaps being more sympathetic than the hereditary monarch in a lot of ways.
I like T'Challa as a character, and I think again Chadwick Boseman's performance is good. I think it's just they're not the greatest MCU movies, but Black Panther was good.
I really liked Black Panther, and I've watched it back a couple of times. It's like it's a good looking film. It's like it's got the Lord of the Rings thing. If actually you can just tell the amount of effort that's gone into the production design filters through and just makes the film feel good.
Oh, here we go. Like a lot's happened here. So
who the fuck's Captain Avalon?
I don't know, Doctor.
Okay, good.
I don't know who Captain Avalon is. So the Black Knight is a villain in like very early kind of like 70s, 80s Marvel canon. I mean, presumably this is a different iteration of the character, but off he goes doing whatever he's going to do. I don't know who Captain Avalon is.
Yeah, and I thought Enchantress is from DC. So.
There is an Enchantress in DC. I think the Enchantress is a Thor villainess. She's
Okay.
like the name tells you all you need to know. She's a witchy woman who casts spells.
Not
Again,
entirely like Enchantress in DC, but
yeah, they're scraping the barrel here. So, well, Captain Avalon, what does he do? So there's a Captain Britain. I wonder if this is like... Doctor Strange
Avalon
there. That's cool.
Avalon is just an old name for Britain.
Yes, and in Arthurian lore, Avalon is like the island of the Fae and the elves.
Definitely not Valinor.
What do you think of the Doctor Strange movie? You quite like Doctor Strange, the film. I have mixed feelings, but like you go first.
I mean, I find it fun because it's like, do you know what? Fuck it, magic. Why not? We're not trying to explain this as some kind of weird alien technology. This is a sorcerer who protects the Earth from supernatural threats. This is a thing now. Not the best use of Benedict Cumberbatch at all.
No.
And he's not good in it.
Which is rare because he's a very talented man.
Is he though?
I
think he's quite good at playing Benedict Cumberbatch. Like he plays Sherlock. He plays Khan as Sherlock. He plays Doctor Strange as Sherlock. He plays Smaug kind of still somehow as Sherlock. Like.
I don't actually disagree, but like I like him in those roles. I think he's good at them.
I mean, yes, there's nothing wrong with being good at being typecast, but hold B to enter time-based. Like, oh god.
My issue is basically like Doctor Strange plays out like it's the Tony Stark story again, but with magic. Like,
yeah.
self-centered man learns he is self-centered and uses his technology / magic to become better man. It's like that's it's Iron Man but with magic.
Yeah, I basically. Oh crap! I'm trapped in some kind of hell. Oh,
Just switch character.
Yep, I figured that out. Thank you.
Oh, I like the cloak of levitation is fun here. So the cloak of levitation in the Sherlock and not the Sherlock movies.
Hey, you can see why you might think that though.
Yeah, definitely. So the cloak of levitation in the Doctor Strange movies is one of the really cool things about it. Like how it wraps people up. It's cool how the MCU can make an inanimate object a character.
Yeah, that's one of the things I quite like with that film is that you get a feel of it as a character. I always like what's his name. Fucking the Danish guy is the villain, Mads Mikkelsen. He's good in that, and he's generally good in a lot of things.
Is Mads Mikkelsen the villain?
Yeah.
In Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Is he?
He's what's he called? Caecilius.
Oh yeah, so like obviously they're setting up Baron Mordo to be the true overarching villain.
Yeah. Oh, was that what's his name from Firefly? Strange.
Yeah. A really good actor actually. Again, bizarre that he's in these daft.
That was it. Yeah.
That was very impressive. I've never been bold enough to pronounce that man's name out loud, let alone on a stream
I know.
that will reach dozens of people.
I know several Nigerian people and have learned some tricks with names. Basically.
I'm truly very impressed. Well done. He's a very talented actor. Again, like one of these like obscure character actors who just maybe wanted a paycheck but was doing a good job while he was at it.
I saw him in a play once.
Did you really?
It was a play called Everyman, which is possibly one of, if not the oldest play written in the English language.
Oh, by who?
We don't know. It's basically it was so back in the Middle Ages. They're basically like one of the common styles of play was a morality play. So basically just the thing that basically says, hey, don't be bad, otherwise this will happen. Be good, and this will happen. Yay, great. And Everyman is basically just like a dude dies, and it's kind of like a Christmas Carol kind of thing. They basically. Various spirits show him a look back on his life, and he realizes all the mistakes he made and how if he'd avoided them he would have gone to heaven.
Oh, cool.
It was a strange interpretation of it though, because it was all in the form of beat poetry written by former poet laureate Carol Ann Duffy, which
I have mixed feelings about Duffy's poetry.
Didn't work for me, I'll say.
Yeah,
but
I think Duffy is fundamentally an overrated poet, but yeah, sure.
I'm nowhere near knowledgeable enough about poetry to answer that question, to address that point, but it didn't do a lot for me, I will say. Any ideas here?
Yeah, so Groot is in that weird Groot cage.
Okay, is that good? Do we want that?
That seems to progress. I think we need to get him up here to do something, but
okay.
I don't know how we get him up there. So like, it seems maybe we have to build or oh, there we go. We can help construct the cage around him.
Hold B to interact with time-based Lego objects, and use the left stick to move them forwards and backwards in time.
Oh, okay. So presumably Doctor Strange can use using the Eye of Agamotto.
So left or right on the left stick, I assume, is sucking that through time. There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Excellent.
That's good. Now we have him in the cage. Did we want this?
I think we did actually.
Okay.
That seems to be progress based on what was happening before, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
Quite where? What's the end game here?
Doctor, I believe you mean quite when.
Hey!
That's the funniest thing I've ever said in the channel. Use left to move them backwards and forwards in time. So like I'm shuggling with the stick in all the ways I can think to shuggle a stick.
You've never sounded more Scottish.
Okay. Shuggle a stick.
Hold on. Hold it left. No, rotate it left. Like, spin it.
Okay, I'll try rotating right. I'll swap with you and see if you can like figure this out.
If you be someone else, I'll take over Doctor.
I'll be
Dr. Spicy.
Sure. Let's be our bisexual hero, Chris Pratt. The hero we deserve, but not the one we need right now.
And use the left stick. And that's not clear what you mean by use there.
I was trying to rotate it in any way.
Rotating it seems. Rotating it does do it. It's just slow. Oh, this is as far in time as it goes. I think that way.
Okay.
Because that breaks it apart again, and that's bad. It's basically it's got two options. That's the other option, so it's fixed now. So that's apparently what we want.
Maybe we can do something to like advance it further.
I think this is like glitches aside. I think what this game does somewhat struggle with is just feeling quite disfocused at points.
Yeah, so like the environments look much better, and like the boss fights are spectacular, but like we're really struggling viewership to find out what we should be doing at any given point.
Yeah, and I think that is a weakness of this game.
I mean, obviously the game plays off of having lots of characters to
Yeah.
play with. But
basically,
it means
I
that every
would go
level
as far
you
as
got
to
to
say
relearn everything.
I would go as far as to say every level we've had some kind of issue like this where we're just like, okay, so what are we doing?
Yeah. It feels like they're capitalizing more on like, hey, look at all these characters you maybe wanted to play, but by the same token, like we've got to relearn the mechanics every level as we adapt to every character's now new abilities.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. You seem to be doing something well there. You've got 7 out of 10, which is
7 out of 10.
presumably good.
There's little targets that I can seem to lock onto, but although
I bet you it'll get like a mini kit or something like that rather than actually anything progression wise.
Oh, here we go. Like
Some kind of ballista.
which fires automatic crossbows from this D-list character I've never even heard of, Captain Avalon. If you've heard of Captain Avalon...
Oh yeah, it was a mini kit. I was right. I hate being right sometimes.
Brilliant.
Oh, here we go. Oh, right, I've got it. I'm
Nevertheless,
presuming
viewership.
Oh, no.
If you've heard of Captain Avalon, viewership, tell us in the comments who is this guy?
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't know, and I'm a big nerd, so...
I really thought I had it there.
Yeah, let us know what you think of this so far, viewership. So you've seen us, if you're stuck with us so far, probably you've watched LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Lord of the Rings with the Doctor and myself. How is this comparing?
Apparently you hate yourself, yeah.
Apparently you do hate yourself if you stuck with us this long, but let us know, what do you think? Is this good? Is this better? Is it worse? You tell us. Are we back on the walkthroughs, Doctor? This is bizarre.
No. I went down a real rabbit hole reading about Captain Avalon. It was previously known as Captain Britain.
Oh, so Captain Britain is powered by the mystical force that protects the United Kingdom.
And which is also bafflingly written by Alan Moore.
No way!
Yeah.
Really?
So that's why I wasn't saying anything, because I was going in deep on that shit.
Wow, so like...
And Captain Avalon is the current like incarnation of Captain Britain.
Oh, that's quite cool. Okay. I mean, I know who Captain Britain is. I've read a bunch of his comic books.
Okay, that does help. What can you enlighten us? And how does that help us with the gameplay?
So a really interesting aspect of Captain Britain's powers is that like his powers are directly tied to his confidence. So like the more confident he is in what he's doing, he approaches absolute invincibility.
Huh.
But like if he starts to doubt himself, then like his powers wane and like he becomes basically like a regular guy. So if he suffers from extreme self-doubt, then he's basically a regular person.
Yeah.
But the character, like I think he's called Brian something.
Yeah, Brian. Oh, I had this one. It's not Brian Blessed.
Brian
Braddock. Yeah.
Braddock. So like his sister, bizarrely, is Psylocke, a member of the X-Men.
Ah.
But at various points in the comic book, Brian Braddock suffers from extreme depression. So as his depression takes effect, obviously he doubts himself. He has massive self-anxiety and massive self-control issues, and so his powers wane as his depression worsens.
Ah, that's quite cool.
It's very cool.
And kind of really tied it. Hold B to transform to a sphere-shaped object. Okay. And also kind of ties in with some of the Arthurian mythology as well, of like how the land is tied to the physical state of the king. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the body politic, which is of course the king's, political body, as it were, as like the ruler of the nation, and like his physical body, which is two distinct things. Well, there we go. We solved this puzzle while still doing good banter.
Turns out you just had to hold B on the time shift thing and keep repeatedly and significantly spinning the control stick.
Well, the Enchantress has called us very clever, which we are not, but hey, cool.
I feel like you're giving us a lot of credit there.
Yeah. I'm liking the time warpy stuff. This is kind of fun.
I mean, you would hope for that in a game where Kang is the villain, from what I understand. But
yeah, I'm liking the sort of alternative versions of the Marvel character.
Yeah.
But this is again, I didn't know who Captain Avalon was, even though I've read a bunch of Captain Britain comics, and if I don't know this, the average viewer certainly doesn't.
I mean, it also makes sense when you think of Avalon is just an old name for Britain. So
yeah,
it's also it's where it's the same route as Alba for Scotland.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. Tell me about my homeland, Doctor. Wonderful.
So what it comes from is a very old word, older than we have any root for white, after the White Cliffs of Dover.
Oh, cool.
It's alabaster.
Alba or Avalon?
Both. They come from the same root, as does alabaster. It's this old word for white that's basically the oldest word for the United Kingdom or Britain that anyone has any record of, and it's basically getting into basically kind of mythology at that point anyway.
Excellent knowledge, Doctor.
I like words.
So again, I don't know if we ever finished that sentiment viewership. If you haven't already, go and post up in the comments and tell us, like, how is this comparing to Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego Star Wars? Is it like, for you watching, is it more enjoyable? Is it less enjoyable? Is it a better game? Like, tell us what you think based on what you've previously watched. We'd love to hear from you.
Indeed. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think? The Doctor and I have we'll made our opinion of this game pretty clear. So
On parts of it, certainly.
Are you doing the Doctor Strange thing? I think you can open that door.
Oh, there we go. I can target these things. Oh, I've hit it with my strange laser.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange also a fun character. Not he has masses and masses amounts of comic book because he had his own series for like 30 or 40 years, like a huge backlog of content that you can like plow through, and he's a cool character.
I was getting confused with Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange is the Batman villain.
Yeah, exactly. Who's possibly not a doctor, but he is a psychiatrist, I think.
Of sorts. Right, should you be Groot? So Groot goes on that like pedestal.
Yep.
And then what? Can one of us interact with you?
It's a great question. Like, I use that wheel, that ball. Oh, that's saying. Oh, why is it saying Y so much? Right.
Maybe he's got to go. So hang on, put Groot on the pedestal,
Yep,
then
on
I'll
it,
see if I can do Doctor Strange thing while you're on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll make a difference.
I don't think that's the right Doctor Strange thing. I think you want to target it with that. Oh no, you don't. Sorry, I'm talking shit.
Nailed it. Okay, can we get through here? Oh, it's a mini kit.
Oh good.
Oh no, and it's just a mini kit. Wow. Right. Okay. But he seems to have an energy shield as well, Doctor Strange. Okay, Sprite, you ready to cut some of this until we get the solution again? Because this is happening constantly.
Like that is being my primary issue with this game. Is there we go.
Oh, there we go. We're back, viewership.
And I wonder how much. Yeah, that's like how much of this is just we're thick. That was like, oh, right. This is a constant gripe I have with modern games. A lot of modern games seem to have a thing where a button will do something different if you press it versus if you hold it, and a lot of UIs do not make it clear when it wants you to press it or when it wants you to hold it. And there it was telling me to press B instead of hold B. And that was, I feel, deeply unclear.
Yeah, maybe you tell us in the comments, viewership.
Yeah.
Are we just idiots? So is this a very obvious game that we're just not getting? You tell us.
I feel like it's not been as straightforward as the other Lego games, and like I'd not really played Lego Star Wars, and you hadn't really, but there were very few cases where that properly stumped us. Yet with this, it seems to be happening.
Yeah, and I feel like in the previous Lego games, where we hit issues like this, it was because we were very, very drunk,
or just stupid. Like we had an issue where we weren't even that drunk, where we were stuck at the end of the Paths of the Dead for a while. But here, it just feels like it is a alarmingly regular occurrence.
Yep.
That needs Avalon here. Apparently.
There we go. Do your thing, Captain Avalon. Oh, of course, cut with a sword. That makes sense. Of course.
Press B to open.
Press B to. Oh, with magical Lego objects. By the power of the Vishanti, or something. How do you again? Like you like Doctor Strange film? Like it's a very cool movie in many respects. I like him in this game. He's very cool, like his little cape that kind of carries him and flies him around.
I mean, he has that in the film as well, but I take your point.
Yeah. Have we got another Doctor Strange movie scheduled? Is Doctor Strange going to be another movie?
Yep. There was... Basically, it seems to be a bit of a controversial thing. If there was one that was going to happen, and then the writers pulled out of it due to it not going to be what they wanted it to be.
So strangely, George R.R. Martin is desperate to write a Doctor Strange movie.
It was going to be
he's a huge Doctor Strange fan.
So it's going to be the same. I mean, George R.R. Martin. There's one thing that he really needs to be writing at the moment, and he's not writing it. But that aside.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Doctor Strange can interact with that thing up there. So go on. Okay.
Yeah, go and strange that then. I need to do some wiggling. It's rotating is what it is, by the way. You just have to rotate along and hard. Basically, so the original title, I think it's still called this, was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That's a really cool title.
And basically, the writers wanted it to be, in their own words, the closest to horror that the Marvel films have yet come.
I would like to see a superhero horror film.
Yes, but then it was all acquired by Disney, and that all disappeared.
Disney aren't making a horror movie anytime soon.
And oh yeah, we can do an Enchantress now. There we go. Oh, I just stamped on a head with Groot. Fuck.
That's a big key, and it's held by Gamora.
Yes, that's
Gamora doing stuff.
So it's still apparently called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but it's not going to be anywhere near as like. Basically, it sounds like it's going to go down a basically like Lovecraft horror style thing, which I'm fine with and seems to work well with Doctor Strange. But
we spoke about Lovecraft on the channel before, how he's like a deplorable individual, but his fiction is interesting, if nothing else. So.
Interesting and influential.
Oh, hugely! Like so, all Warhammer 40k is Lovecraft. Like lots of D&D like draws on Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Many of the things the Doctor and I love and continue to play. So, oh, here we are, the Black Knight. The Dungeon of Doom! Hey! Oh, there's real Captain America. Cool. Again, like the Black Knight, like not the kind of villain I was hoping we'd be fighting, but sure.
All I can remember for sure with the first Marvel superhero games, from the little I played, is I think Abomination and Sandman are in it early on.
I mean, there are still bigger villains than this nonsense. At this point, Doctor, can we call a brief break and we'll bid our viewership a brief adieu while we go replenish our stocks of stuff?
Indeed, wise.